Hello, greetings, me back, Zahra Jawad, on YouTube, Zahra Jawad, the Truth Seeker. So after I finished that video and uploaded it, I started to get these voices. I don't know how far it's true or not, but that some Shia saying that they want to kill me. So I'm not going to reveal female or male, but I heard them saying repeatedly that she has said something against Zahra, Messenger of Allah's Prophet Muhammad's daughter Fatima Zahra, and so they want to kill me. So it was like they were shouting out loud, and so I don't know, but I feel that I have to go on. It wasn't my health. It wasn't good for me to go through the Bani Qurayza thing again, but just to show you, like in point form and everything. Why I said this about Fatima Zahra is that for me it was enough to see, having gone through Bani Qurayza part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and with on Ghalib Kamal's videos uploaded on YouTube. Oh God, do I have to say this like that? Sorry. And Zafar Heretic. And then coming across these verses in Surah Azab. And another verse, so I've come across that I will be talking later on in this video if I have the health and the voice, because with my health, my weakness, voice goes faint, unable to talk even. It's emotional shocks and all this. So this is not easy for me. I feel like I'm dying here, but I want to help the Shias who are rational, without the emotions. And if emotions are coming and if it's hurting us, that we were deceived, or if we get an insight through the ayats, Quran ayats and all, and overall looking at it, then, what do you call it? You keep it to yourself, and you can get support, speak to someone, a friend, or a trusted person. Like, don't even trust your own shadow. So be safe. It's better not to if it's not safe, because it is not safe. I've seen that even in my lifetime, some people who just believe blindly in this religion, and this religion has given us a lot of emotions, so we would want to kill others. If we are hurting, then we need help, and even that is, the proper support for that is lacking in this religion. Because when you find out, there are some people who can see that this prophet, for example, a Bani Qurayza tribe, we cannot say that, even though if he, suppose he was a true prophet, he would never do something like this and give the land to his daughter. And the daughter who took the land, then I think, all these things coming up that I may have not mentioned as yet, then I think the prophet's daughter, how could she take this? And we were told, Fatima Zahra, the mistress of paradise and all this, the truthful. And there's a curse on the Christians, the liars, after having, having a discussion and all this, we are told, which we celebrate with the Christians. Rasulullah and his family had discussions, and you can find those verses in Ali Imran, I think, most. Yeah, as far as I know, Ali Imran, Surah Ali Imran. So just leaving us like this, some people, and then we are not the ones maligning, but just imagine, think of those, what if your child was killed, your child was, God forbid, in the Bani Qurayza, and if their mother said something or their father had spoken against this prophet, maybe whispers were going on that we don't believe in him, or he provoked them, or he did, like we are told in Surah Azab, maybe they saw something that even in Makkah, like the Jews of Medina saw, that he had completely disrupted the peace of the Makkans, and that's why whatever we are told that from the Shia Sunni side, the hadith is coming, Islamic resources and sources, I cannot believe in them now, seeing that there are discrepancies in the Quran and all that. Think of those slave girls. So, and so this means that his family and even his daughter, the truthful, as we are told in the Quran, it alludes to his daughter Fatima. That Quran ayat, bring our children, our women, and all this, right? And your women. So how would you feel? How would you feel if let's say one to at least 5%, 10% of doubt has come in you that he's not a true prophet? Let's say if through my videos or other ex-Muslims, and they don't even talk about Shia hadiths. Zafar Heretic has said he cannot rely on the Shia hadiths because they're mostly like spiritual and not really substantial proof. Don't hold substantial proof for his videos. So see, this is spirituality is very in the air and everything, and then we have been given the book. So if like you tell me, why do you believe in spirituality? If it's very in the air and you cannot really grasp it, because it's I believe in the air and all this, but many people don't. And then why did even Allah send the Quran, the book written, or a revelation that needs to be recorded and for all the people? So he needed Allah needed something substantial, didn't he? And the proof should be there, substantial proof with spirituality. So this is what I think also, but if there was only spirituality and nothing like a book which we would follow, and you believe in it, otherwise, don't say anything, don't criticize this book, don't criticize me, I'm Radha Rani and all of, like I have a book, let's suppose like Prophet Muhammad did. How would you feel, right? In Bani Qurayza, now I could go into Wikipedia, I only read the one side of the Muslim scholars. You could read read the whole and see if your heart can take this. And so, why Abu Bakr being right? Now, I forgot to mention the Bani Qurayza and Fadak came from the Jews. So, have you really gone into this deeply? Have you done all sides, angles, instead of just taking one side and becoming emotional and saying, I'm going to kill you because you have maligned Bibi Fatima Zahra, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad? And the Shias take her as, something more than their lives, someone more than their lives and all this. So then will you see, I was a Shia too, but that doesn't matter at times with some Shias. They won't see this. So have you looked at, even if I talk to this person, or if my message, if they could listen to this, Bani Qurayza tribe. And there are some good ayats that can pull you, and there are good hadiths, and there is proof, and all that I've explained. But about Fatima Zahra, why I say now, is because she endorsed this. She endorsed this religion, she took fadak. And when did they get fadak? Which spoil? It is a spoil of war, the airlift. And what about, I can't explain this properly, you can understand what I'm trying to say. And fadak, so that her children could enjoy. And she took it from the spoils of war because she was a muhajirin, we are told here, right? So I can see through, maybe you can't, but I can see that she took those in mass. Even those Muslims in Wikipedia, we are told, Wikipedia is given, but they do say that in mass the Jews were killed. You know the meaning? In the Bani Qurayza tribe were killed, Jewish tribe, Bani Qurayza. In mass. What does that mean, in mass? Majority or all, in mass. So I could open a tab and say, I'm not used to opening tabs, but here, in mass. Those Muslims who say that no, it was right of the Prophet to kill these Jews in a group altogether. So, in mass killing. And you're going to ask, okay, there are some good ayahs where he was asked to believe in the believers. Okay, that I will come later to that ayat that I ended my last video with. The ayats. So go to Wikipedia here. Where is it? Wikipedia. I've saved it here. Oh God, Bani Qurayza. And the land. Okay, the azan is on. I also need to take a break. My tea is getting cold. And so then come back after the azan. Thank you so much. Hello, yeah. So I took a pause, right? Like I said. And so where shall I go now? Killing of the Bani Qurayza from Wikipedia. So for example, if I make a mistake, only it says here, not only Ibn Ishaq, but other Muslim historians also. Oh, wait a minute, Rhoda. So let me read the whole thing, sorry. Excuse me, correction. The circumstances of the Qurayza's demise have been related by Ibn Ishaq, and other Muslim historians who relied upon his account. Okay, so Ibn Ishaq is the oldest historian the one who related this about the killing of the Bani Qurayza. And the other historians, he's the only one that does. Other historians relied upon his account. Okay, so you can correct me like this and I'll be correcting myself. But it is true that Ibn Ishaq was the original one to write about this killing. And the only one. According to Watt, Peters, and Stillman, the Qurayza surrendered to Muhammad's judgment. A move Watt classifies as unconditional. So I'm really bad at this when I'm reading something. Then my energy goes and I myself can't understand much if I read this history part. But where I concentrate on one ayat or two ayats, taking it very slowly, that's easier for me. But not to complicate the matters. You can, just skipping some here, and what the whole history you can get from Wikipedia on Bani Qurayza. A tribe agreed to surrender on the condition of Muslim arbitration of their choosing. And so this, and in all accounts, appointed arbitrator was Saad ibn Mu'ad. Okay, and the Battle of Emissaries, and now was dying from a wound. Emissaries, trench, he had been one of Muhammad's emissaries to the Qurayza sea above, and now was dying from a wound he had received later in the battle. When Saad arrived, his fellow Aus pleaded for leniency towards the Qurayza, and on his request pledged that they would abide by his decision. He then decreed that the men should be killed, the property divided, and the women and children taken as captives. So I was thinking, any kind of history, even from the Sunni historians, is written, has been given, then I will take it into consideration and look at it in a rational, neutral way. So, considering those ayats where we are told verse 61 of Surah Azab, and taking of captives and all this, the verses in the Quran. So here we have it. Women and children taken as captives. Muhammad approved of the ruling, calling it similar to God's judgment. So some historians later on say that he meant the ruler's judgment, because the Bani Aus leader, the arbitrator, was from Bani Aus, their leader or something. Anyways, this goes on, but what is important is whether the ruler or the king, Muhammad agreed to it. It says here, Muhammad approved of the ruling of this leader. So maybe you'll have 1% of that doubt in you about this. How, in humanity, I mean, who could do this, right? We were told that children and women taken captives after their fathers killed, their husbands killed. We never heard of this, and we never even thought of it, even though we would read the Quran ayats in Shia Islam, because we would think captives, those women, ladies captives, children captives of Imam Hussain and the Holy Family of Prophet Muhammad. Okay, so this point, and then whatever is important here, you can read the whole thing. I'm just reading. Peterson concerns that Muslims wanted to deter future treachery. Tariq Ramadan argues that Muhammad deviated from his earlier, more lenient treatment of prisoners, as this was seen as a sign of weakness, if not madness. Tariq Ramadan. Who is Tariq Ramadan? So your citation has been given. You can read in what? Muhammad, Prophet and Statesman, page 170 to 176. So you can read Watt's book on Muhammad, Prophet and the Statesman. Okay, the author is Watt. Tariq Ramadan himself, wait a minute, let me read from the beginning this whole paragraph. Then let's see. Saad dismissed the pleas of the Aus, according to what? Because being close to death and concerned with his afterlife, he put what he considered his duty to God and the Muslim community before tribal allegiance. This sounds like something not good. Tariq Ramadan argues that Muhammad deviated from his earlier, more lenient treatment of prisoners, as this was seen as a sign of weakness, if not madness. In quotation marks. Quotation marks closed. Peterson concurs that the Muslims wanted to deter future treachery by setting an example with severe punishment. Okay, citation is given there. 9. Ling's, I'm not going to check it. Continue reading. Ling's reports that Saad feared that if expelled, the Qurayza would join the Nadir in the fight against the Muslims. Oh God. Saad took the hint and condemned the adult males to death and the hapless women and children to slavery. What? According to Stillman, sorry, it's very difficult for me to read. Muhammad chose Saad. Remember I said I've been saying on live streams that I can't take these, horrific things. So think of those children, and this is recorded. It's coming from the historian, Muslim historian Ibn Ishaq. I think he's one of the earliest, which Martin Lings has put in his book too. Some of his history about the life of Prophet Muhammad and all. Saad Banu Kainuqa and Banu Nadir. So Abu Lababa's gesture that Muhammad had decided the fate of the Qurayza even before their surrender. Saad took the hint and condemned the adult males to death and hapless women and children to slavery. Okay, and then Stillman infers from, so I'm just going up and down. Now down, Ibn Ishaq describes the killing of the Bani Qurayza men as follows. Then they surrendered, and the apostle confined them in Medina, in the quarter of it only says D al-Harith, a woman of B al-Hajar. Then a woman of B, D and I don't know what B al-Najar. Then the apostle went out to the market of Medina, which is still its market today, and dug trenches in it. Then he sent for them and struck off their heads in those trenches, as they were brought out to him in batches. Oh my God. Among them was the enemy of Allah, Huyay bin Akhtab and Qab bin Asad, their chief. There were 600 or 700 in all, though some put the figure as high as 800 or 900. As they were being taken out in batches to the apostle, they asked Qab what he thought would be done with them. He replied, "Will you never understand? Don't you see that the summoner never stops, and those who are taken away do not return? By Allah, it is death." This went on until the apostle, meaning the messenger of Allah, made an end of them. Huyay was brought out wearing a flowered robe. Safia bint Huyay, a father, Huyay, or her husband. Who is this? No, her father, Safia bint Huyay. You're not known by your husband's name in Islam. Okay, sorry, I just get confused. Huyay was brought out wearing a flowered robe in which he had made holes about the size of the fingertips in every part, so that it should not be taken from his spoil. I can't read this. Sorry, I have to take a break. I don't know how long. I will come back later.